Good evening, ages. Happy early Thanksgiving to you guys, everyone out there watching in this nice, cool 43 degree air in Virginia tonight. Because it is the DOUG here, and it's time once again for some picks, baby! But I am not alone tonight. We do have everyone's favorite 49er fan and the man who is in first place in all of it. Again, because of this past week, and I'll get to how that happened. It is everyone's favorite 49er fan. It is Dave.
What up, Ducks World? What up? What up? What up?
Thank you for joining me.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Yes,
Y'all
thank
be
you.
safe out there.
Thank you for joining me tonight, because I know you could have decided to spend it with your family, but you're spending at least the Thanksgiving Eve with me. Mostly because both of us are single and we don't have children. AKA, we can't get laid. Well, the only
I got my dog.
Well, you got,
I got my dog.
You got your dog. All I got's a fucking stuffed giant squirrel. Damn it, I'm the worst. I'm literally the worst one here then when it comes to having a companion. Fuck. But with that being said, I also want to give a shout out to Mr. Travis. Happy Thanksgiving to him and his family. He's not on tonight because he's already got the family there. So everyone have a good turkey day there. Enjoy the football tomorrow. He is currently in second place.
Mr. Travis, send me your address so I can write you my signature because I'm in first place, baby.
Oh, that was a bad joke, but a funny one.
I'm Mr. Upset.
That you are. I'm just pretty much tagging so many people on the damn Facebook. They're probably going to think I lost my mind.
Thanksgiving too.
Happy Thanksgiving to Mr. Jones as well. If he joins us tonight, he will.
Not the Colts. Colts, you don't deserve a good Thanksgiving.
Well, we got to talk about them later.
You don't deserve a happy Thanksgiving either.
And we'll be talking about them a little bit later on as well. But of course, happy early Thanksgiving as well to Dark Knight and Rosie, Joe and Ashley and the guys in that group as well. So happy Thanksgiving to them. But let's go over what happened this past week in college and in the NFL games we had in picks. So this past week in college, Tulane beat SMU, USC beat UCLA in a thriller. Virginia Tech got the upset over Liberty University, which was Virginia Tech's last game. I'll get to that in a little bit. Oklahoma upsetted Oklahoma State, and Utah lost to Oregon. So I went 2-3. Not a great week, but I'm 27-23 in college picks. What about you, Dave, in college?
I went 1-4.
Damn.
Only one I got right was Trojan.
Woo.
But right now, hold on. I ain't even do this right this shit. I am, let's see, 32 wins because last year was 31. So 32-24.
Not bad,
not
bad.
I suck at college shit. Well.
Yeah, we'll see how you do this week in college. As far as for the pro games last week, the Titans beat the Packers. I was the only one who picked Tennessee. Apparently, and this is when I said it in last week's video, the Packers did not learn from their win against Dallas, and they stopped running the ball. That's what cost them. Congratulations to the Falcons on that win, and to the new record holder. There is a now new record in the NFL for kick returns for a career.
On your ninth, I always thought that was like a running. Like I always thought that was a like that. I always thought that was like not like a record.
Well, it is, and he holds the record now at 9, and he can continue to grow. So maybe he puts it out of reach because there's still a few games left. He could put it to where it comes out of reach for people. But congratulations to him. It is an accomplishment. If you did not see how he got it, please check the highlights of that game. It was magical.
It was like 101 or 102.
104, I think it was
like the end zone.
Yeah, because he got it from the end zone, so I knew it was 100 plus. Unfortunately for Chicago, that loss may not only hurt him in the playoff race, they may have lost their quarterback maybe for the rest of the season. We'll explain why later. Ravens beat the Panthers in what was a good defensive matchup. Pretty much stayed 3-3 into the end.
That game was boring at first. Like y'all kept getting like that fat guy intercepted Lamar Jackson.
Well, remember it was windy in Baltimore.
That big guy, the big man, intercepted Lamar Jackson. That was
AKA, as
funny.
Scott Steiner would say, fat asses. But congratulations to Baltimore for winning that game. Lamar was the only one who got a touchdown. Bills beat the Browns pretty easily in Detroit. Yeah, I know the score may not show because the score kind of looks Browns play presentable, but by that point, when Browns started getting touchdowns, it really didn't matter. Bills handled their business this week and actually put them back in a good position.
Can we congratulate to the Bills Mafia? They didn't break tables. They actually donated to the Lions Foundation.
Yeah, they may be needing those tables for tomorrow, depending what happens. But Bills, congratulations and thank you again, Detroit, for putting up with Buffalo this week. Over in Houston, well, this game really didn't matter. The Commanders beat the Texans. Heineke's pretty much got the starting job. Happens. So there's that. Texans pretty much holding the first pick in the draft. We'll get to that later. Eagles barely get by the Colts, and that's a little bit surprising because now the last two games, Eagles lost to the Commanders, and they barely got by the Colts. The Colts should have won that game by all rights, but Eagles kind of got some luck near the end.
The Colts defense didn't want to show up.
The Colts defense choked in the end. Saints beat the Rams, which keeps the Saints' hopes alive a bit. Anthony Dalton looked like he did of old. Rams, we're seeing what happens now when you decide to buy a Super Bowl win, getting all that talent, your team goes to shit. Yes, I know Rams fans will say fuck those picks, but
Rams are dumb. Talking about the Rams, you're dead Rams.
Let's get through the rest of the week first before we go making fun of them, because we actually got to talk about them before we make picks. So that's with Matthew Stafford. So that's when I'm going to let you go all full blast then. Broncos, who were pretty much should have won that game, their defense choked. Broncos country got murdered by the Raiders in overtime. Adams pretty much said, fuck you guys. In doing so, the Broncos are mad because that playoff hopes are near dead. Seattle Seahawks are happy, though, because, hey, that puts them in a good spot for a top 5 pick since they're on the Broncos pick. And it also helps the Texans because the Raiders were the only team who could have caught them at the moment. So good job for the Raiders there. Grant, I still think you should fire your fucking head coach. He's a fucking moron. Now we head to the land of the Giants, who, guess what? They lost to my upset pick, the Detroit Lions. Lions on a 3-game winning streak. They are getting hot when you don't want to face a hot team. The defense is playing all right. The offense is going back to what it was. Makes the Thanksgiving game we're going to be talking about later. The Bills and Lions game later. Very interesting. A good job to the Lions upsetting the Giants. Bengals handled the business against the Steelers. We'll talk about how the Steelers, Mike Tomlin of the Steelers, might have something happen to him that he has never faced yet. Cowboys, murder, death, fucking killed the Vikings. That game was so over, CBS had to switch it to the Bengals Steelers. I think it's the first time that happened this year, by the way. So good job to my Cowboys. We made up from our mistakes against Green Bay, and we pretty much stopped Kirk Cousins in his ass. It was so bad, Kirk Cousins actually got benched after the game was out of reach. Now, I know what everyone's thinking right now. Why are you not talking about the Jets and Pats? Because we're going to save that for last, because we have to go in depth on that one a little bit. Then the Chiefs beat the Chargers. Chargers tried to hang in there, but unfortunately the problem with the Chargers is...
should have won that, but that Chargers should have won, but we got some penalty calls on that shit. But
well, I wouldn't even say the penalties. The injuries to the Chargers is what dooms them. Because they have so many people out on the defense. It was at some point, Mahomes was just going to let off, and he did. And then, of course, Monday night, the Cardinals got buried in Mexico. Niners beat them. And, hey, we got to see Pentagon Jr. hang out with the Niners. That was a cool moment. That was probably the only highlight of the fucking game, to be honest.
And we're in first place. And we're
first place.
Standing.
We'll talk about the standings.
We're in the third.
You're jumping ahead.
We're in the third playoff. We're third.
Calm down. We'll get to the standings, so I know you're going to talk about it. But we got to talk about the one game that everyone's been talking about since Sunday, and it's not because of the game itself. It's because of the post game. Jets and Patriots. Patriots did win that game on a beautiful punt return for the touchdown. The first punt return for a touchdown this year. So I say good job there for the Patriots. Now, with that being said, Zach Wilson, you dumb motherfucker. And this is why I'm wanting to say this, because he's the idiot of the week. In your press conference, you were asked, did you let your defense down? You said no. We know you were fucking lying. Because your defense played a great job, held the Patriots to 3 points the entire game, and I'm not gonna even blame the special teams because that's the first punt return we had for a TD this year. That was something beautiful. I can't blame the special teams. But you cost your team the game. You played pathetically in the second half. And I mean so bad, Dave could have played better than you. I could have played better than you. And I have 2 bad legs and a bad back. The guy at Domino's I was talking to Tuesday and quitting and picking up my pizza would have played better than you. Travis's kids, Mr. Jones's kids, Mr. Jones, Corey Ramsey, who was a quarterback when I went to high school, Dark Knight, Rosie. Do you get my point here, everybody? He is a disappointment, and I'm going to say this before I continue. Dale Carr, there's rumored he might not be with the Raiders next year. They might let him go, whatever. I think he's in his final year of his contract. I can't remember. Jets fans, and Jets ownerships, do the smart thing. Get Carr, because if you had a good quarterback, you would have won that game, and you guys would have still been in the playoffs. Because guess what? That loss hurt you so bad, and I'll get to it in a minute. And we'll get to more Zach Wilson in a minute. But, Dave, you heard what he said, that it was not his. He did not let the defense down. And, we had statistical proof that he did.
He buried his team under the bus. He was like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, you're supposed to, they say you're good. We need to do not, shut the fuck up. You need to, like, I don't know. You need to go, I don't know, let the stream off and do your work. Don't blame no on your mistakes.
Exactly, because I mean, I was so disgusted because when you're the quarterback of a team, you are the leader. When you succeed as a team, you get all the credit, but when you lose, yeah,
they're really getting confident. I'll be like, oh.
I don't think anybody we're going to talk about that later because we actually have some news about what the Jets decided to do there. But let's get to some college news now. Of course, several Michigan State football players charged in the tunnel melee. Of course,
they deserved that.
Of course, this is from the list of showing Crump striking Michigan defensive back G. Green with his helmet. Defensive end Jacob Wyndham was also shown in the video and is charged with 1 account of assault and battery. So yeah, I think everyone say this, that those 7 careers are over because you had to get stupid because, again, we've talked about it when it happened. It felt planned more than anything. They had it going into, so I'm glad this is happening. I know some people would disagree, heat of the moment, but I'm sorry. There's heat of the moment, and then there's going above, and that was going above heat of the moment, in my humble opinion.
Yep.
Moving on, Florida will be without 5 wide receivers when the Gators play number 16 Florida State Friday night. So there is that, and also, as we know...
Damn, why? Injuries?
I think injuries, yeah.
God damn.
They're not really giving too much detail, but I'm going to presume injuries at this point. Now, of course, with that being said, there is one thing that I do have to talk about, because we know it happened. Virginia Cavaliers canceled their game last week because we know what happened in the shooting. It was announced yesterday as well that the Virginia Tech game, which is usually a big rivalry game, has also been canceled, so that game will not take place. Virginia Tech knows how it feels because they had to deal with something similar to a shooting there years ago. So a little bit of sad news we had to do on that one, but it had to be brought up so anyone wanted to know that game's been canceled, which I will say this is probably good anyway because I don't think Cavaliers football team is going to be emotionally ready at this point. And I know most people may not like what I'm about to say here. The game didn't really mean much in the end because both teams had no shot at a ball game anyway because of how they played this year. So I think in the best interest, the right decision was made there. But let's get to some happy things now. I think we're tired of sadness, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's go to the rankings, and oh dear God, do we have some controversy here? Mostly in the 5th seed, but who's 5th and 7th, but we'll get to that in a second. Number 25 is Louisville, which is kind of surprising. Number 24 is Cincinnati. 23 is Texas, who's back in it. UFC is 22. Oregon State, 21. Old Miss is 20, and Tulane is 19. UCLA dropped to 18. North Carolina dropped to 17. Florida State moved up to 16. Notre Dame is at 15 right now, so that's helping Clemson a little bit. Utah is 14. Washington 13. Kansas State is 12. 11 is Penn State. Tennessee is 10 after getting upsetted this past week, so their playoff hopes are dead. Oregon's at 9, who can maybe still sneak in there with a little help. Clemson is at 8. Alabama's at 7. Now, here's the funny thing. They have Alabama at 7 over Tennessee, so that tells me they're viewing Alabama, they have 2 losses, that their 2 losses didn't hurt them as bad as it did for Tennessee. I think that ups.
But they're gonna make Alabama get in the playoff somehow.
That's where we have an issue, because number 6 is USC, who's 10-1 right now. Remember, they only got 2 games left. The game against Notre Dame Saturday, and then their conference championship. If Trojans win those 2 games, they should be in, because in front of them right now is LSU at 5. But hey, LSU, if they lose to Georgia in the SEC title game, that'd be 3 losses. I don't think they'll make it in at all with 3 losses. 4 is TCU, 3 is Michigan, 2 is Ohio State, and 1 is Georgia. Personally, I think the only thing I would change, to be honest, is the 5 and 6 spot. I would put 5 at the Trojans and 6 LSU. Other than that, I think everything is correct. TCU 4th, Michigan 3, Ohio, I don't think anyone's going to argue that. Now, as far as...
Maybe it's at me.
Well, remember, Michigan and Ohio, we're going to find out who stays and goes after Saturday. Speaking of which, just in case you wanted to know, there was no college games tonight, because it is the day before Thanksgiving, so no college games. But there were 2 college games yesterday. Miami of Ohio beat Ball State 18-17, and Ohio University destroyed Bowling Green 38-14. Ohio should be in a bowl game because they are 9-3. Now, there is a game though. What the fuck was that? Sound like creepy music. Whoa, loudness. I think I might. You okay there, Dave?
Sorry. Yeah. My uncle stopped by. I was like, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm good.
But for those who do love college football, there is a game tomorrow on Thanksgiving, believe it or not. If you don't want to watch the Patriots and Vikings, you can watch on ESPN at 7 o'clock. The 7-4 Mississippi State taking on the 8-3 Ole Miss tomorrow night, if you don't want to watch Patriots and Vikings. Now, with that being said, let's get to our college predictions. We have 5 games for college football this week, and 2 of them are on Friday. So guess what? Since I ain't going Black Friday shopping anyway, since I don't have the money, I will be paying attention to these 2 games for the fucking group. Oh, Black Scream of Death. Corey Ramsey said was canceled because players traveling to the funerals, etc. Yeah. That's Black Scream of Death real quick. Corey, thank you for letting me know that. And I had a feeling that might have been what it was. I hate when this happens. YouTube crack has issues. Because I'm sure I can still be heard. But, we're going to keep going anyway. It's only the Black Scream of Death. It doesn't really matter because you don't really need to see anything. You can just hear our voices, right? Let me just unmute the thing real quick to see if it picks up our audio. Yeah, so everybody we're just going to have that going, warning, we can't get video because we're retarded. When did video go out anyway? It went out about 6 minutes ago, but that's okay. We have our audio, right? That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So moving on, let's talk about the first game we have for college this week. It is on ABC on Friday, 3:30. It's a battle of North Carolina as the North Carolina State Wolfpack in the house take on number 17 North Carolina Tar Heels. 7-4 is the Wolfpack. Tar Heels are 9-2. Wolfpack's kind of went down in the last 2 games, losing to Louisville and Boston College. North Carolina was looking good until they got upset by Georgia Tech this past week. Here's the thing, though. Well, this game doesn't mean that much to the Wolfpack. They can't really be in the championship for the ACC. Clemson's got that pretty much locked up. But North Carolina kind of needs this one because they know they all playing in the ACC game momentum. Because if you go into the ACC game at 9-3, you pretty much can forget any chance of a decent bowl game. But Dave, who do you got? Do you got the Wolfpack or do you got the Tar Heels?
Nah, I got the Tar Heels.
You got the Tar Heels. All right. Corey, if you're still here, anyone who's still here watching with us, please give us your pick in the comments as well. And Travis has North Carolina Tar Heels as well. I am taking the Wolfpack, baby, because you don't turn your back on the Wolfpack. Or you might wind up in a body. I'm not going to finish it. No, because... no, moving on. I don't think that would be the best thing to sing right now because of what state I'm in. Moving on, we're heading down to Florida. Because we're going to Miami with Will Smith, baby, as the Florida Gators take on the Florida State Seminoles. It's the SEC versus the ACC rivalry game, in-state rivalry at that. That is at 7:30 on ABC, so guess what? Fuck watching SmackDown, because we know SmackDown's going to suck anyway. Watch this game instead, you'll have more fun. And if anybody says, oh, they want to watch that guy who will not be named, you can kiss the biggest part of my white ass.
And his name is Boring Brains.
Corey, aka East Coast Rider, he's got the Wolfpack. And we got the screen back. Woohoo! Came back. And he's got FSU by 10. With all the injuries Florida has, I'm taking the Seminoles as well. I think they're just a better team on paper, and I'm going to say this, Florida's kind of been a disappointing team to me, but not the most disappointing team in the SEC. That goes to Texas A&M. Dave, who do you got?
I got Florida State.
You got Florida State. Let me get my pen real quick, because I want to make sure I have all these written down. Move out of the way, you stupid keyboard. I don't like you right now. Best thing is I don't have to sing this week. That's the best thing of all. So you got the Seminoles as well, right?
Yep.
All right, that's Seminoles, and I know you, Travis, took the Tar Heels there. And he is taking Florida State as well. So pretty much everyone's taking the Seminoles right now. Moving on to our big games of the weekend. Of course, you know this is the World
It's rivalry week.
Rivalry week for a lot of games. Now, we'll point this out before we continue. Next week in the picks, we'll be doing all the conference games, so there will be no Wheel of Fame. We'll be doing all the conference title games next week. But the first game we have for Saturday...
That's a lot.
is the Michigan Wolverines at Ohio State. The winner of this game will most likely keep their playoff hope alive because they will be in the conference championship. By the way, the winner of this one will either face the Iowa Hawkeyes or Purdue, and I say that because let's just take a look at those two teams just so you guys know what I'm talking about, because I've tried to explain this on Facebook, but most people didn't understand how I had it worded. Iowa plays Nebraska. Purdue plays Indiana. So for Purdue to make it in, Iowa's got to get upsetted by Wisconsin. If Iowa wins, they are in the conference title game no matter what. But this is the one we want. Michigan and Ohio State. Winner goes to the conference championship for the Big Ten. Winner most likely guarantees their playoff hopes alive. Or probably guarantees them a playoff spot. Loser most likely bounces the fuck out and has to be on the outside looking in. Now, last year the Wolverines won the game and got in. But this game's in Ohio this year. So it will be interesting to see what we have here. My buddy Corey, who I went to high school with, by the way, I hope he liked the joke I said about he would be a better quarterback than Zach Wilson, if he caught it. He's taking Michigan by 10. Interesting. Travis is taking Michigan as well. Now, Dave, you are a Michigan fan. So I already know you're picking Michigan, but... why should everyone else out there pick Michigan in case they're still on the fence?
You know why? Because we have a good running game. The Ohio State Buckeye running game, they don't have a running game. It's more throwing than running. Ohio State fair player is Ronnie Harrison Jr. We stopped that.
Man's coming with the knowledge.
And we go with our running back Colt Blake. Well, I'm pretty sure he's playing. He was hurt last week against Illinois, so I'm hoping, praying he's okay to go play. And we have a good we have our quarterback. He could run, but I don't trust him I don't trust him a little bit. He holds the ball too long too. But I'm pretty sure we got this. We're going by 20. No, I'm going by a field goal because Ohio State is tough. But if we can stop the run the pass game, we are good. If we don't stop, and we have a good defense. But yeah.
The show, that's hilarious. YouTube again being stupid. Ramsey says CG Sturd is overrated trash too.
He really is.
Here's the thing here.
And Mr. Jones, if you're listening, good luck.
You know Mr. Jones is taking Ohio State because that's his team. Here's the thing. I actually had a hard time picking this game because I looked at both teams. I'm like, both teams had their ups and downs this year. They're both undefeated. They've been dominant in games, but they've been games where they've kind of, almost.
We're number one defense in the college. We're number one defense. So
Illinois almost upsetted Michigan last week. Maryland hung in there a bit against Ohio State, but not by much. To me, it came down to a few things for me personally. And it pretty much came to one thing. How many points can the team score? And that's pretty much what made my decision here. Michigan points per game is only about 39.4. Not that bad. Ohio State, though, gets about 46.5, so I'm taking the Buckeyes here just for that. Granted, here's the thing, though, with that being said, for everyone who's not made a pick yet, Michigan only gives up 11 points per game. Ohio State gives up 16, so it's not that much of a difference there. But I just feel like since it's in Ohio State, I think the refs might play a key factor here and kind of help the Buckeyes, unfortunately. I'm hoping I'm wrong on this one because I'd rather see Michigan go in because fuck Ohio State, to be honest. But I have to go with what my gut tells me in this situation, and my gut usually ends up being wrong when it comes to games like this. But I'll take Ohio State. Everyone can get a free win on my ass, okay?
And plus, I trust my coach, Jim Harbaugh.
That I will say the coach is better for Michigan, but my gut's just telling me on that one. Okay, I know I'm probably going to be the lone man here on this one, so we'll see, but I'm probably going to be. It is my Fighting Irish Saturday night at 7:30 on ABC, going to take on the USC Trojans. If Notre Dame wins this game, it's a nice little thing for a new head coach's resume. This is his first year. This would be another big win he's gotten. And it would kill pretty much any shot the Trojans have for a playoff. Trojans win this, then they just got to win the conference championship, and they should be in the playoff. Trojans are favored here, which is not a surprise. But anybody who knows me know I stuck with my team to the bitter end. So I am taking my Irish here. I know everyone's going to say fool's pick. Oh, pick against them. There's a better chance I say something nice about Kirk Cousins before that happens. Speaking of which, Kirk Cousins, I would rather have him as my quarterback instead of Zach Wilson. There you go. But, yeah, I'm taking the Irish here. Travis is taking USC. I can't really hate against that. Dave, who do you got?
You know what's funny? My neighbor that's a Cowboys fan, he's also a Fighting Irish fan. He got a tattoo of the Irish leprechaun on his arm. So, but I'm picking the Irish.
Picking the Irish? All right, that's your upset pick of the week. All right, for college. And my buddy Corey, he is taking USC. Again, I can't argue with anyone picking USC. That is the smart pick. But I'm sticking to my guns. I've done it all year long. I'm not going to change now. That gets us to the last game we have, and I will say this now. We will be talking about the last official game of the college season as well when we get to it, because remember, after the conference championship games, there is that one final game we have of the year, which is personally one of my favorite games I watch every year, even if both teams are not that good, Navy and Army. I'll be watching that game. I know a lot of military people will as well, that game. But that one we won't talk about till week 15, which in the NFL, well, that'd be week 14. Just as a keep everyone, straight. But the last game we got, and I bring this up, has a military team. It is at 9 o'clock on CBS Sports on Saturday. It is the Air Force Falcons, who are 8-3, taking on the San Diego State Aztecs, who are 7-4. This game kind of is more about bragging rights than anything else. Because San Diego, well, not for San Diego State, because San Diego State, if they win this and Fresno State loses this week, I believe San Diego State jumps them for the conference game for the Mountain West. Boise State's already in that one, so Air Force can't do anything, but they can play the Warriors. Spoiler here, and we all love a good spoiler from time to time. Travis is taking the Air Force. He said that's his upset pick for college this week. I am also taking the Air Force. I just feel like they're going to pull off the upset. We're going to see a lot of chaos with some of these smaller conferences this week. And Dave, who do you got?
Air Force.
Air Force as well, all right. This is the second time we've had an Air Force game, by the way, and we all picked the Air Force to win. This could end up being bad. And, actually, Corey's going to say Air Force in a close one. All right. I'm glad we have some people commenting with us. As first for you basketball fans for college going on right now, Indiana's about to beat Little Rock. They lead 87-68 near the end of the second. Tennessee's beating Butler at halftime, 28-23. Also tonight, we have Auburn, Northwestern, Arkansas, San Diego State, UCLA, and Pepperdine. Games that went final today, Kansas beat the Wolfpack. Ohio State beat Texas Tech. Baylor beat McNeese, if I pronounced that correctly.
The McNeese, though. I've never heard that team.
Yeah, I haven't either. Kentucky beat North Carolina, and Arizona beat Creighton. And just in case if anybody wants to know, there are a few college basketball games tomorrow. Duke plays tomorrow against Oregon State on ESPN. So there is that. So everybody who wants to be heads up, there you go. As far as for hockey going on right now, my Penguins are leading the Flames 1-0. The Sabres are beating the Blues 4-1. The Coyotes are leading the Hurricanes 1-0. The Canadiens and Blue Jackets are tied 0-0. Red Wings are beating the Predators 2-0. Boston Bruins are losing to the Panthers 2-1. Jets are losing to the Wild 3-0. Maple Leafs could be the first team to stop the Devils because the Devils have been on a 13-game winning streak. Leaves lead that 2-0.
Let's go Toronto. Let's go Maple Leafs. Let's go.
Oilers and Islanders just ended the first quarter or period. They are tied 0-0. Also ended the first. It is Flyers and Capitals 1-1. You also have the Blackhawks, Stars, Rangers, Ducks, Canucks, Avalanche, Sharks, Kraken, Senators, and Golden Knights playing later tonight. Virginia winning the Natty in college basketball this year. Hey, if Virginia does, it'd be the best Cinderella story we have and the best story we've had in sports after what they've gone through. I have no problem with that if it happens. You know I'm an Irish fan for college basketball, but I can live with that. In the NBA, my Mavericks are losing to the Celtics near the end of the second quarter, 42-55. Fuck you, Boston. Fuck you, Dave, on that one. 76ers are beating the Hornets right now, 65-60 in the third. Trailblazers are getting destroyed right now by the Cavaliers, 58-71 in the third. The Timberwolves are keeping it close right now, 62-57 over the Pacers. The Hawks got an easy game. Hawks are playing the Kings right now, 72-53. Wait a minute, the Kings got 10 wins already? What the fuck?
Wait, they do?
Yeah. Holy shit.
You mean they're better than the Lakers?
I think they are. What's the Lakers again? Hold on, I gotta check this out.
I think they're better than the Warriors too.
Yeah, and they're better than my fucking Mavericks. What the fuck's going on in Sacramento? But they're losing to the Hawks right now, 72-53. The Heat are beating the Wizards, 50-37. Nets are beating the Raptors, 52-45. Bills are beating the Bucks, 32-31. Nuggets are destroying the Thunder right now in the first quarter, 35-17. And the Pelicans are beating the Spurs 29-16. Pelicans actually look pretty good this year. Don't forget tonight's games is Pistons Jazz. And then it's Clippers and Warriors. Yeah, Warriors are 6-10. They are not doing well. That is dangerous. As far as for the worst team, the Lakers are actually not the worst team. It's the Houston Rockets. They are 3-14. Damn, but Lakers only have 5 wins. Fuck you, LeBron James. You bitch. So we hate LeBron James on this channel, so if you love LeBron James, this is not the channel for you.
LeBron James.
Now, getting to the NFL news we have to talk about. As many of we know, we've been making fun of Zach Wilson most of this video. He did get benched. He did apologize for his comments he made post-game, but he has been benched. He said it made him have a sick feeling in his stomach. Why the fuck would you say it then to begin with? Mike White will start against the Chicago Bears at MetLife Stadium. Joe Flacco will be backup. Wilson will be inactive for this game. So, If you have Zach Wilson as your starting quarterback, please remember to edit it correctly. But the Jets may have gotten a gift horse this year because Justin Fields says he has a separated left shoulder. Bears quarterback Justin Fields said today that he is dealing with an injury to the accommodative joint in his left shoulder and will be evaluating how he feels later this week before determining whether he plays against the Jets. Fields said, quote, "It is separated shoulder with a plantar torn ligament," describing his injury. Basically, it's like an AC joint. That's my understanding of it. So we won't know officially if he plays or not till probably game time. So keep that in mind as well if you do have him as your fantasy quarterback, or if you're a Bears fan or you make picks, keep that in mind. Also, from other news, Rams, Matthew Stafford, protocol neck is ruled out for this week. He will not be playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. So that means the guy who had him the guy we've been seeing most of the last few weeks, John Woodford, will be starting this week, it looks like. It should be, but if he can't go, it will be Bryce Perkins who starts for him this week. The Rams did sign quarterback Case Cookus to the practice squad on this past week, so keep that in mind as well. Rams will be without Stafford. They don't have Cooper Kupp for another few more weeks. Rams also cut their starting running back. Thank you. I didn't realize that. Thank you for that, Coy. So Rams did start their cut.
That's what I was gonna talk about the Rams there. I think you dumb man. Well, you released your best running back for the dumb. You should have got the other guy. Cam Akers was sucking.
Dave, you want to talk about the Rams and how stupid they are? Go right ahead, because I'm pulling up the standings for the draft and the playoff standings right now while you do that.
Well, you released your best running back, but you kept Cam Akers. Cam Akers was garbage. You should have released him. But no, let's be like, oh, we're going to release the other guy instead. He did better than Cam Akers. He got more yards than Cam Akers. Cam Akers was more injury-prone to him. So why would you're like the Eagles. Eagles traded the best motherfucking player, Nick Foles, who won who's a backup, won a Super Bowl. You're like the Eagles now. You released your best player. Now you guys are gonna lose.
Well, the Eagles did find a great player in the draft for quarterbacks, so I can't pay them too much.
Well, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. They probably should have kept him instead of Wentz. Look at how things turned out.
Yeah. Yeah, but Rams, you are dumb. You're dumb. You're dumb.
Bruce Perkins is a beast from UVA. I should point out as well before we continue, happy Thanksgiving to Coy, because he is watching. Thank you so much. I know I'm not good with names. We know this. Going to the Houston Texans. Oh, this is going to be fun. They have benched quarterback Davis Mills in favor of Kyle Allen. So they are making a quarterback switch. He will be starting Sunday against the Miami Dolphins. This is coming off Mills' worst performance of the season Sunday in a 23-10 loss to the Commanders, aka the Redskins, because we still say the Redskins on this channel. If you don't like it, kiss my ass. Mills only completed 57.6% of his passes for 169 yards and 2 interceptions, including a pick 6 on the opening drive on that. And also, guess what? Kyler Murray expects to return against the Chargers this week. In a game that doesn't matter. Murray, just stay home, play some more Call of Duty. Your Connors ain't making the fucking playoffs anyway.
Hold on.
So there's that there. Dolphins by 20 plus. We haven't even got to that game when he's already saying Dolphins. I don't blame you. I think we might all agree there. Beginning to the two standings we care about here on this channel, we're going to talk about the draft order first, because that is important to figure out maybe which teams will be tanking this week and who will be playing to win. Number 1 right now is still the Houston Texans. Right behind them is North Carolina at 2. Chicago is at the 3rd pick, and the Las Vegas Raiders are at number 4. Number 5 is the Seahawks. Remember, they got that pick because they traded Wilson to Denver. Got Denver's first-round pick. 6 is the Lions because they have the Rams' first-round pick. 7th is the Houston Texans because they own the Browns' first-round pick. After that, it is the Steelers and Jacksonville, respectively, at 8 and 9. And then at number 10, the Eagles, since they own the Saints' first-round pick. After that, it is the Cardinals, Green Bay. Detroit's at 13 again. Colts, Falcons, Chargers, Washington, and then the Jets. That was right. The Jets fell out of the playoff standings. We'll talk about that in later. As far as for the teams we cheer for, Dave, you don't have a first-round pick because you traded that to Denver. And Dallas right now would have the 27th pick, it looks like. And remember, Miami does not have a pick this in the first round because they forfeited that. So, getting to the playoff standings before we head to our actual pick portion of the program. We're going to the AFC right now. The Chiefs have the number 1 seed at 8-2. Then it's the Dolphins at number 2. They have the tiebreak over Tennessee based on strength of victory. Wins a tiebreak over Baltimore based on best win percentage in conference games. Third is the Titans. They have the tiebreak over Baltimore due to best win percentage in conference. And then it's the Ravens at number 4. After that, number 5, it is the Buffalo Bills. And then it's the New England Patriots at 6. And then number 7 is the WKRP Cincinnati Bengals, who a few weeks ago, even I admitted this, so I will be the first one to say this. I wrote them off, thinking they weren't going to make it because, you know, they had some injuries. The offensive line was not that good, if I'm being honest. But they've been able to make a comeback, and they might get the best player back this week, the best receiver. So we got to keep that in mind. There was rumor that he might be back this week. I don't know if that rumor is true or not. I've been hearing through the grapevine, but nothing officially reported at this moment in time. Now, after that, now here's the funny thing. We've already talked about this team enough already. We're only going to talk about it one more time, and then, of course, when we get to the game, the Jets. That loss really hurt them against New England. It could actually cost them a playoff spot depending what happens, which will be more fuel on the bury Zach Wilson in a grave somewhere in New York. After that, it's the Chargers and then the Colts. And then after that, it's Jacksonville, Raiders, Cleveland, Denver, Pittsburgh, and Houston. No one's been officially eliminated yet, but we could probably at least eliminate the Houston Texans at this point, I think. Right, guys?
Yeah.
And then in the NFC, Eagles are still the 1 seed, followed by Minnesota at 2. Niners have the 3rd seed right now as they have the tiebreaker over Seattle based on head-to-head percentage. Bucks are at 4th. After that, it's the Cowboys in 5th, Giants in 6th, and then the Seahawks in 7th. So they're going to have to do some catching up here because they know they're 6-4. Here's the thing. The Redskins are right behind them at 6-5. Redskins are... Well, there's a chance you could see all 4 teams from that division in there. Philly, Giants, Cowboys, and Redskins. Then it's the Atlanta Falcons right behind them at 5-6. And then Detroit at 4-6. After that, it's the Packers, Cardinals, Saints, Rams, Panthers, and Bears. So it's going to be an interesting chase to see how that 7th seed goes the rest of the way. Now, with that being said, it's time to get to this week. And we're starting off with the first game on Thanksgiving night. Or day, I should say, the first game of Thanksgiving. It is the Buffalo Bills taking on the Detroit Lions. Bills coming off a good win over the Cleveland Browns. But the Lions are at home and they're on a 3-game winning streak right now. They're getting hot at the right time. The question is, Dave, I'm going to shoot this to you first since you're here with me. Do the Lions make it 4 in a row, or do they do what they usually do on Thanksgiving and choke on some turkey?
I think they're going to... Are we doing picks or just not talk about what we think gonna happen?
Oh, this is picks, so we're now in the picks part for each game.
You know what? I see an upset here.
Ooh.
I see the Lions upsetting the Bills by a field goal.
You're taking the Lions, okay.
And they've actually been doing their offense. The defense has been doing good. Aiden Hutchinson been actually doing good though. The whole defense been actually doing good. So. And yeah, so I see upset in Detroit.
Fair enough. Travis is taking the Bills here.
You remember the Bills still play with an injury too, so that might be an effect too, you know.
True. Excuse me, East Coast Raider, aka Corey, he is taking the Bills, and I'm taking the Bills as well. That's been my AFC representative for this year, like last year. I love their defense. Even though Josh Allen still might be a little bit banged up in the arm, I still trust him over the Lions quarterback, to be honest, and Bills just have too many weapons offensively for me to pick against them in this case. But I'm still going to tip my hat to Detroit, 3 wins in a row. accomplishment that I tip my hat to, particularly since you beat Green Bay and the Giants, 2 wins that will look good and give you more momentum for the rest of this year, maybe into next year when more people might expect you to do better. Next game, of course, it's the Thanksgiving game that I care about the most. It is the Giants against the Cowboys. Winner of this game most likely will keep control of their 5th seed. Loser will probably still be in the playoff hunt this week, but then they're probably going to have to kind of do some catching up here, and I'm going to say why, because one team's got an easy schedule coming up after this, one does not.
Who has an easy schedule?
I believe it is Dallas, actually, because Giants do not get as lucky. Travis is taking the Cowboys here. We know I'm taking the Cowboys as well. That is my team. I don't pick against them for better or for worse. Dave, who do you have in this situation?
I see the Giants. I got the Giants.
Fuck you.
I know, right?
I can't believe I thought you would actually pick Dallas since you picked Dallas last week.
No. I got it for home team, the home state team.
Yeah, this is when you want to cheer for the home state team. You did it last week because when they played the Lions, you joined me with picking the Lions to beat the Giants. But this week, wait a minute, if you're going for the home state team, why the fuck did you not pick Buffalo?
Nah, I like the Lions, but I like the Lions better than the Bills.
But you just said you're picking the Giants because of the home state team. Buffalo's in fucking New York.
But you know the reason I don't like the Cowboys, because I'm a hater.
I know you're a Niners fan, but damn, that's some backwards logic. I'm picking the Giants because of the home state team, but I'm not picking Buffalo even though they're the home state team.
I know the right Cowboys for that. I like the big and bad. And, we're going to Super Bowl this year. No.
I have not done that. Thank you very much. I've actually not said a damn thing.
I know people that says that. And then I know this lady. She's a Dallas Cowboys fan. I talk shit about her Cowboys. She gets mad and I'm gonna beat you up.
Corey's saying Giants will make Dak throw 40+ times, which means auto loss for Dallas. So you guys are saying Giants defense is better than Dallas then as well then, by that logic.
I'm just picking the Giants.
Yeah. See, when I bring Dallas' defense, I'm just yeah. But the reason I said
Elliot playing this week, cause he was a question to return. When I got him on my fantasy, it says circle questionable. So what happened?
Who's questionable?
Elliot.
It's probably gonna be the same thing he's been doing with the knee injury. So if he's out,
I gotta admit one thing though. The Cowboy defense is no joke. You got fucking Person, who.
Well, Corey, you've been saying. I know you saying Dak. You've been saying that since he's played. Granted, I'd rather have Dak instead of the Raiders head coach. I'm just saying.
Admit, Cowboy defense it's like John Cena. They don't stop. But I still got faith in Giants. I think Giants will put upset in Dallas.
I brought up the schedule a bit, okay? The reason I said that the next few games for the Cowboys after this is a very easy schedule because after the Giants, they play the Colts, the Texans, and the Jags, 3 teams with a losing record. Neither team looks really good out of those 3, and then after that, the last 3 games again are the Eagles, Titans, and Commanders. So after this, they got 3 easy games that they should win easily, you would think. But then it's the next 3 games after that Cowboys may have a little bit of problems. Granted, if it might be interesting for the Titans game because if the Titans had the division locked up by that point, if they can't get the number 1 seed, Titans may rest their players. We'll see. And then, of course, the Commanders, aka the Redskins. That would depend on the Redskins, how they're doing at that point. But the Giants, unfortunately... Ooh, they need this win bad, unfortunately. Dallas could probably can escape with a loss and still be fine. Giants not as lucky, particularly because they lost to Detroit. Because here's the thing. After this, Giants play the Commanders, a.k.a. the Redskins. And then it's the Eagles. And then it's the Redskins again. So that's 3 division games back to back to back. And then you play the Vikings after that. And then your last 2 games for the Giants is the Colts and Eagles. Giants are in trouble because if they lose to Dallas, they're going to have to beat the Redskins twice to at least stay ahead of them. But there's a strong chance Giants could miss the playoffs because of these next 4 games. So Giants fans, that Lions loss could come back to bite you in the ass. We shall see if that happens, but we'll find out in the weeks to come on that one.
Damn dog trying to bite me.
Rosie's taking the Bills. Moving on, we're heading to the next last Thanksgiving game of the.
Hello.
I'm still here. Travis, I'll send Travis the records when I get done. We're heading to Minnesota, as it is the Vikings at home taking on the Patriots. Now, of course, we know how I feel about Kirk Cousins. I've been pretty much saying he's the man who robbed Minnesota. Oh, by the way, this is a primetime game, and as we know, the Vikings don't exactly have the best record on prime time with Kirk Cousins. Patriots coming off a win against the Jets. Granted, the offense did not play well, but the special teams is what bailed them out this week, and their defense played pretty well. Vikings coming off getting destroyed this past week against the Cowboys.
They got murdered, death, killed.
Well, they did. I'll give you that.
They got Nick Cage style.
Ramsey's taking the Vikings. He says this is a get-right game for them. Rosie's taking the Giants and Patriots. And Panthers, because that's coming up next game we're discussing. Travis is also taking the Vikings here. So he's also betting that the Kirk Cousins curse ends on this night and he finally wins on prime time. Dave, who are you taking?
I'm picking the Cheaters of New England.
Cheaters of New England. Alright, so Dave's joining the Patriots here. Here's my thing. If this was an early game, a 1 o'clock game, or even a 4:25 game, I'd probably be picking the Vikings here. But as we've seen with Kirk Cousins on prime time, he doesn't step up. So guess what, Minnesota? Last week I picked you guys to lose because you were playing my Cowboys. I had no ill will toward anything else. This time, I'm picking the Patriots. This is my upset pick of the week because I don't trust Kirk Cousins on prime time. Now, this could be the game where he finally gets those monkeys off his back. It is the one thing almost everyone that will agree on. He is, when it comes to prime time, you get a little scared. I even know a few Viking fans who are not feeling comfortable with this game because it is a prime time matchup. So, Kirk Cousins, all the pressure's on you. We'll see if you can handle it, though. Moving on, we are heading to North Carolina, baby. Where the Panthers are at home against the Broncos. Panthers will be starting Sam Darnold. Baker Mayfield's been benched. Broncos country, well, the only thing they can ride to is in death because they can't do anything right. They may have the second worst coach in the NFL or the first worst head coach in the NFL, depending on who you're asking.
Wait,
pretty much.
So you're saying Josh Daniel better than the Broncos coach?
No, I'd say they're both equally bad. If you had to make me pick one, I'd probably be asking why the fuck did the Raiders not keep the interim head coach from last year, who probably was a better head coach than Daniels, if we're being honest.
No, I'd rather have Jason Garrett. I'd rather have take Jason Garrett than those two.
Yeah, Jason Garrett. Yeah, he can. Yeah, because at least Garrett can actually knows how to win games, unlike Josh Daniels. So again, I just hate Josh Daniels. I remember when he was the Broncos coach, he was shit then. He's shit now. I would never understand why the Raiders signed him at all. I think it was still a bad decision, but we're going to talk about more of the Raiders later. Panthers kind of kept it close with Baltimore. The defense played well. Denver's just a mess, personally. But Corey's taking the Broncos here. I'm taking the Panthers here. To me, this is a battle of who's going to suck less. And I kind of trust the Panthers a little bit more here just because of the fact of defensively, they might be a little bit better by Denver, but not by much. Plus, the Broncos' offense is terrible. Yes, I know they got rid of Gordon. They cut him because he was fumbling. But that ain't going to solve the problems. Russell Wilson's not playing good. And I'm going to say this, if I'm the Seahawks, you may have committed the biggest crime of this season by somehow convincing the Broncos Russell Wilson was still a good quarterback and getting their first-round pick. Give me the Panthers here, but I'm honest, I'm not 100% safe with this one. Let's see. Our boy Travis is taking the Broncos here as well. So, Dave, are you going to be joining me in North Carolina? Are you going to be going Broncos country? Let's ride!
You know what? I'm picking the Broncos. I'm picking the Broncos.
Wow. Again, I'm on my own here. What the fuck's going on this week? No, wait, this is the first game I'm on my own because you guys are... So, damn. Interesting. Moving on, we're heading to the next game, which is where I think almost everyone might be in agreement on this one. The first game we might all agree. It is the Buccaneers on the road coming off their bye, taking on the Cleveland I'm sorry, the Browns are just a disappointment. Should have do it for Michigan Wolverines like they're talking about doing. Rosie's taking the Browns in an upset here. Interesting. Browns pretty much at this point, they know the season's kind of a bust because the quarterback they traded for got the suspension. Jacob Brissett's been trying to ride the ship. They haven't been doing that well. Tampa Bay's coming off a bye. I know we made fun of the Buccaneers most of this year, but they did play well in Germany against the Seahawks. Give me the Bucs here. I just think they're a better team, and I don't really trust Cleveland. I think personally Cleveland's just looking forward into next year, to be honest.
Yeah.
Whoa, wow. Corey's also taking the Browns here. Okay, that's kind of two upsets in a little bit, in my opinion. Travis is taking the Bucs here. So, Dave, what about you? Are you taking the Bucs? Are you going to be heading to Cleveland Rocks?
I'm seeing an upset here. I see Tom Brady whipping the fuck out of at least I Watson. I mean, we're fuck playing the Browns.
So you're taking the Bucs?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Taking on. I was gonna make it a joke, but I couldn't make it a joke because I couldn't get some heavy stuff about the Browns. So
no problem. Moving on to the next game. Doesn't Watson come back after this week too? Yes, he actually comes back for the Houston Texans game, which that one we will be discussing a lot in detail because I have a strong feeling the NFL might move that to a primetime game just to piss people off. But up next, though, we head to AEW land as the Jaguars are at home this week against the Baltimore Ravens. Rosie's taking the Ravens here.
Did you hear about the TIA Stadium, the Jaguar Stadium? The people came in, the inspection, they found dead rodents and shit in the stadium.
That's not a surprise. Jacksonville's not exactly has the most intelligent ownership. Ravens, coming off not a great win over Carolina, but their defense did show up. Jacksonville's kind of been up and down this year. Doug Peterson was going to have to rebuild the team due to the clusterfuck of last season, proving that some college coaches should not come to the pros to coach. This is my lock of the week. I'm taking Baltimore. Yes, Baltimore's offense has been questionable at times this year, and they've made a lot of mistakes blowing games. But I think, this is one of those that you just look on the schedule and you should win easily. But Jacksonville could pull off the upset and really shake the AFC standings up, but I'm going to take the Ravens here. Corey says Jags, AEW trash. You got the Ravens as well, Dave?
Yes, sir.
All right, and Travis is taking the Ravens as well. Not too many. I don't think too many people have faith in the Jags, but we shall see what happens. Up next, I'm going to say this right now. If anybody picks the away team here, you better fucking explain yourself. It is the Houston Texans taking on the Miami Dolphins. That should tell you who I'm picking right off the bat. I trust Miami. Tua, since coming back from that scary injury, the Dolphins haven't lost with him. Dolphins are at home. Texans, we know, have been taking pretty much since week 1. I feel sorry for Coach Lovie Smith because I like him, but I'm going to say this. I don't think it mattered who the coach was. I think Houston's purposely losing here, but again, you got to have the proof. Give me the Dolphins here. Dave, who are you taking?
The Fins.
Yeah, so is Travis. I don't think anyone really wants to take the leap of faith on this one. To be honest. Rosie's taking the Dolphins, and my buddy Corey, who again I want to thank you for being here tonight because I know you could be with your family getting ready for Thanksgiving. He says Dolphins by 20 at halftime. No one's taking. I mean, Houston's just a bad team. I'm going to ask this question then before we continue. What are the chances the Dolphins don't play their starters in the fourth quarter? I think it's pretty high. Because I think Houston's just going to be. Yeah. Now, getting to the next game, which is interesting because of quarterback situations we have already discussed. It's the Bears at the Jets. We know the Jets will be starting the third string quarterback. Bears, we do not know the quarterback situation at the moment. May not know who the quarterback for the Bears is going to be until game day. So keep an eye on that if you don't want to make well, Dave, you and me got to make a pick. We don't have a choice. But everybody else watching, you can kind of wait, because and all that. But keep an eye on your fantasy team as well if you do have one of those two players. I think Jets get lucky here because, under normal circumstances, when you're putting in the third string quarterback, you probably shouldn't win. But with the Jets' good defense, Bears offense, we don't know what it's going to be like because of the quarterback situation. And the Bears defense, let's be honest, is not that good the last 2 weeks. I'm going to take the Jets here, but I think this is going to be closer than what people expect. Heading to the comment section, Rosie's got the Jets. Dave, who do you got?
I got the motherfucking Bears of Chicago.
You got the Bears. Oh, you're going with the upset here. You're thinking, even with a backup quarterback, the Bears offense steps up.
Yep.
All right, fair enough. And my boy Travis is also taking the Bears. Interesting. I'm back by myself. This will be one of those games we have to keep an eye on right now. Next game, I would say, is kind of maybe one of the harder picks we've had this week, mostly due to the fact that both teams are kind of looking interesting. And of course, it is WKRP Cincinnati. Oh, before I continue, I forgot to mention one thing. Because it is getting close to Thanksgiving month, this is when I start singing Christmas music if the Cowboys lose. So if the Cowboys do lose on Thanksgiving, the next pick video, I will be singing Frosty the Snowman. So keep that in mind that the Jets do win. I have to sing Frosty next week. But getting back to this game now. WKOP Cincinnati take on the Titans with King Henry. Rosie's taking the Titans. Corey's taking the Titans as well as saying kitty cats can't stop the run. Corey, who do you have in the Jets and Bills if you do want to make that pick now? If you don't, I understand you don't have to. Here's the thing. What have I been saying all year long to beat the Titans? You got to stop King Henry. But like Corey said, Bengals haven't been able to stop the run this year. They're probably one of the worst teams at stopping the run, to be honest, in my eyes. Now, Bengals offense is okay, but, they almost kind of blew to the Steelers a bit until the Bengals defense won it in the end. But I'm taking the Titans here. You got to prove to me you can stop King Henry, because if you can't stop King Henry, you ain't winning. And the Packers showed that last week. Give me the Titans at home.
You know what? I don't know. Let's see. Who did I pick? Oh, I picked the Bengals to go to Nashville and whoop the Titans' ass.
You're taking the Bengals? Okay, Dave. Another upset special, I guess?
Yeah.
Travis is taking the Titans as well. I know he would be with us, but again, he's got family. Again, happy Thanksgiving, everyone who's here with us tonight.
Yeah.
Instead of getting ready, I thank you because, I do love the support I get from all my viewers. I do love it. Thank you.
Man, we love you too.
Jets, if Falco gets in the game. Oh, that is a good point. If Joe Falco gets in, because Falco is a veteran quarterback, he is a Super Bowl champion. I think the Jets should have probably started him first, but we'll see. Moving on, well, another interesting game with playoff implications, because winner of this one would hold the tiebreak over the loser. It is the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Washington to take on the Redskins. I refuse to say the C name. This is not Cobra Commander.
Isn't the Redskins stadium in Maryland though?
Yeah, I know it's stupid.
So it's not Redskins, so it's Maryland.
But I know they should probably be called the Maryland, but yeah, that's another story for another time. I don't have the alcohol to get into. Rosie's taking the Falcons here. Now, this is an interesting matchup because, the Redskins have been playing good. Heineke's been playing well. The defense is kind of picking up. They might have their best offensive player back this week. They got the good story with the running back who was shot, but came back. He's been playing well. Falcons, really nothing expected of them this year because they were rebuilding, but, they're in the playoff hunt right now. They could still win their division.
Mariota.
Yeah, Mariota's been playing all right, so he's kind of getting a refresh, a reborn thing, because he was always a backup, but he's getting a chance to show he maybe wasn't all that bad. I'm not saying he's great, but he wasn't all that bad. Plus, the Falcons probably have one of the best kick return teams in the league. But I think because the game's in Washington, Redskins have been playing pretty well this year, you know, with everything going on off the field. Because there's a lot of things going wrong with them off the field. But I think, and I'm going to say this, you know, if anybody's, again, mad that I still call them the Redskins, form a line, get some lipstick, and kiss my ass. I'm taking the Redskins here. I just think they're a little bit of a better team, and I like their coach a little bit better, but I will say this for the Falcons. You shouldn't, if you miss the players, don't be disappointed because no one was expected you to be there. Just use whatever happens the rest of the way as a way to build toward next year, to be perfectly honest. No Friday Ash walking double tomorrow, no problem. Dave, who do you got? Redskins or the Falcons?
I got the Commanders.
Hey, we're saying Redskins from now on just to piss off PC people. And Travis is hazing the Redskins as well. Which is kind of surprising. Now, I will say this. Kyle Pitts being on IR only have one pass threat. That is something as well. I didn't mention it. Corey, thank you for that. I should have mentioned that earlier, but I apologize. Kyle Pitts is on IR for the Falcons. So, Falcons only have one passing threat. So, keep that in mind for you Falcon fans and anyone who hasn't made a pick yet. Moving on, so I'm going to take a guess then, Corey. You're probably taking the Redskins then. I'm going to taking a guess on that. Moving on, okay. This is a game I was kind of worried about. Chargers and the Cardinals. Cardinals kind of look like a clusterfuck. Kyler Murray might be back. Chargers, you know, they've played in 2 close games, but I think all the injuries caught up to them in both of them in the end. Here's the thing, though. I don't trust Arizona at all. They have been, to me, one of the biggest disappointments this year because I think a lot of people expected them to be a playoff team again. And they have the best way to describe the Arizona Cardinals for anyone who watches college football, they are Texas A&M to me. Overrated for no reason. Go ahead, Dave.
And I forgot they had JJ Watt on their team. I thought they had JJ Watt on the Cardinals.
I forgot that they got JJ. They got Wyatt. You know that's the thing. That's how bad the Cardinals are. Corey's taking the Cardinals. Cardinals win because Chargers are going to do Charger things. That usually ended up what happens with the Chargers. They end up fucking blowing it because they do stupid shit. Rosie's taking the Chargers though. Let's see who Travis has first before we get to me and Dave. He's taking the Chargers here. You know what? I've been impressed with the Chargers more the last 2 weeks. You know, they did lose, but they were both close. Cardinals, though, they got destroyed by the Niners. And then the week before, I think they lost to the Rams, I believe.
They did.
I'm taking the Chargers here. I do not have faith in the Cardinals. This could be the one game when I look back and realize if I pick the Chargers and they blow it, I'm going to be like, motherfucker, fuck you, Chargers. But go, Chargers, go this week, as the governor would say. Dave, who do you got?
You know who I got. I got the damn Chargers. Fuck the Cardinals.
Yeah, you're a Niners fan.
I hope they lose. I hope they get blown out.
You hope Rey Mysterio comes in and hits a 619 on the Cardinals.
Yeah. Kyle Murray, stay home and play some Call of Duty.
Well, here's the funny thing. Since Call of Duty's come out, he hasn't played, and the Cardinals have looked like shit. Now, of course, we're going to Seattle, home of coffee, home of Daniel Bryan, and home of probably one of the best quarterback stories this year with Geno Smith, who's kind of having a career reassurance this year as the Seahawks are at home against the Raiders. Now, of course, Raiders coming off that win against beating Denver, which is the second time they beat Denver this year. I think they pretty much own the Broncos for the last few seasons, to be honest, which, again, I give you props there. Carr's had a good year. And, you know, they have a losing record, but I can't really, to me personally, this is me just taking rivalries and taking everything out of it, hatred and everything else. I think the problem with the Raiders is not the players. I think Carr's, you know, still a great quarterback. I like him. I like, you know, the receiving core the Raiders have, and the defense is all right. The problem for the Raiders, unfortunately, is the fucking coach. Since buried the Raiders, not because of their talent, but because of their head coach. I don't trust Josh McDaniels. Say this, if I had to watch Roman Reigns or watch Josh McDaniels coach, I'll pick Roman Reigns. It'd be less painful. Jacobs, 125 yards. I know I'm lagging, Rosie. It happens. Well, I know Corey was going to take the Raiders. He's a Raiders fan, but you know what? I'm taking the fucking Seahawks. That's my team.
Well, I kind of don't like. I don't want to pick either team like a hot team because first off, the Raiders are garbage. On the other hand, I don't want Seattle to lose. So I did no. What did I do? Oh yeah, I looked at. You know what? I picked the Raiders. Well, upset in Seattle.
You're picking the Raiders? Alright. Oh, you joking?
No, I picked the Raiders to beat the Seahawks. It helps my 49ers. It helps my 49ers.
It helps your 49ers. Yeah, that is true. Moving
on. The Raiders do not fail me, man. Do not. If you do, I'm going to go up to Las Vegas and be like, you guys suck ass. So, prove me right.
I know Raider fans may be bad at me for burying them, but again, I'm not burying the players. I'm not burying the fan base, because you guys do have a loyal fan base. It's just the quarterback is my problem. Not the quarterback. The head coach is my problem. Raiders clapping the 49ers New Year's Day. Oh! I think that was to you, Dave, on that one from Corey. Rosie's taking the Rams here, and that's where we're at next. The Rams, without Matthew Stafford, without Cooper Kupp, go to Kansas City! Rosie, why would you pick the Rams? The Rams have don't have Stafford. They don't have Cooper Kupp. That'd be like me playing for the Rams against the Chiefs. No, don't pick me.
Patrick Mahomes is like a boss. He's like the final boss in a game.
Pretty much. By the way, let's just point out, the Rams defense has also been underperforming. But again, like we've said all this year, the Rams got their Super Bowl ring, but they're paying the price for it now for trading all those draft picks to get all those players. Yeah, you got a ring, but look what's happening now. You pretty much went from being in the penthouse to kind of in the outhouse. And here's the thing, Rams can't even tank because they don't own their pick in the first round. That goes to Detroit, so yeah. Chiefs game over at halftime, Corey says. You know what, Corey? I'm with you on that. Kansas City wins this game. Game's probably going to be over at halftime, and I'm going to say this, whichever game this is on, CBS or Fox, I guarantee you it will be switched by the time the game, If Rams keep it close, I'll be shocked.
Yeah. NFL red zone.
Let's see.
I'm picking the Chiefs. I can't. The Chiefs.
Chiefs. You're taking the Chiefs, and so is Travis. Everyone's taking the Chiefs, but Rosie. Good luck, Rosie.
But watch the Chiefs lose now, right?
If the Chiefs lose this game, that's going to be an embarrassment to their organizations. Rams don't have a first-round pick to 2025. Yeah, I didn't want to bring it up, but Corey, since you bring it up, I'll do it now. This year, next year, Rams don't have a first-round pick, so they can't take the rest of the way, and they can't take next year.
Isn't that when they picked isn't that when they drafted Von Miller? They traded Von Miller.
I think it was when they traded for Von Miller. I know the Lions one was for this year. I don't remember who they lost the 2020, the next season picks, the next one. So they're going to be missing a few first-round picks, so they can't take it all the next few years. Rams fans, welcome to hell, is the best way I can say it. Moving on, though. We're heading to San Francisco, baby, as the New Orleans Saints are going to try to be marching in on the 49ers. Unfortunately, New Orleans Saints fans, here's the problem. You may have Papa Shango. Niners have the Death Triangle. I'm riding with the Death Triangle and the 49ers this week. I ain't pissing off Pentagon Jr. Oh, no.
If you don't know who that is, he's a wrestler.
Oh, Matthew Stafford. Okay, yeah. Stafford was for the Lions. Okay. Rosie's taking the Saints and Corey's taking the Saints here. All right. You're thinking the Niners kind of maybe I'm going to take a guess for both of them. And if I'm wrong, you guys can tell me that's not the reason. You guys are thinking maybe because the Niners had such that big game from Mexico City and then having to travel back, that may make them a little bit tired. Saints, again, they're not a bad, they're kind of up and down this year. They look good one week, bad the next. But I'm taking the Niners. Dave, I know you're taking the Niners.
Yeah, I am. 49ers all day, win, lose, draw, fucking 0-16. For their drive.
And I know you were picking the Niners, so and you kind of broke up there, but I think it was your headset because I know you said your headset was broke.
Yeah, I'm picking the 49ers.
You've picked the 49ers, and Travis is picking the 49ers as well. Mr. Jones, I hope gets to me later.
Do amazing again. Do amazing again. Don't. You do what you did in Mexico. You know? Do something. Do awesome.
Moving on. We head to the Sunday night game. Jimmy always has one dumb loss. Yeah, that is true. He usually does. I can't argue that. I don't think Dave will argue that either.
No.
We head to now. I was surprised this game wasn't flexed up, but I think because of the fact of I think the NFL just wants to torture us on Sunday. It is the Green Bay Packers taking on the Eagles. Packers after getting that big win over Dallas, blew it against the Titans. Eagles lost to the Redskins and then barely got by the Colts. So this game may not be as blown out as people think. And it mostly depends on the Eagles themselves.
Were they playing home or they playing at Lincoln Financial?
I believe they are in Philadelphia, so we'll probably see Will Smith get jiggy with it this week before he has to go to Bel Air.
You know what? Can I go first when he picks?
You can go first, Dave. Why not?
You know what? I see the upset here. I see Aaron Rodgers with his broken thumb or whatever the fuck it is, going to motherfucking Philly and dropping an elbow to a table on Jalen Hurts.
So you're taking the Packers, a little bit of ECW flair there. Travis is also picking the Packers, but that is Travis's team. He's been, I think he's only picked against them once this year, and that's because, and I think that was the Buffalo game, to be honest.
Remember, I'm the one that picked the Packers and they lost.
Yeah, Rosie and Corey are both taking the Eagles as well. I'm taking the Eagles here. I'm sure some people are like, oh, Doug, you're a Dallas fan. Hey, I've said before, I don't let rivalries make my picks for me. I look at shit. That's why I picked the Redskins earlier. I'm picking the Eagles here. They are the better team on paper. But, with that being said, this is a game I would be worried about because the Eagles have not looked good the last 2 weeks. Yes, they beat the Colts, but that should have been a blowout one because they were playing against an interim head coach. You know, that should have been an easier win than what it was. You barely got by them. So that worries me there for the Eagles a bit. We get to the last game of the week now. It is Monday night, and I will say this. I'm not looking forward to this game. I think I might actually skip my first Monday night game of the year. It is the Steelers taking on the Colts. Now, what makes this interesting in a way, you know, Jeff Saturday's the interim head coach. He's pretty much playing to see if he will be the head coach for next year. Steelers are just trying to make sure Mike Tomlin does not get his first losing season. He's never had a losing season. This could be his first one. Rosie's taking the Steelers. My buddy Corey is taking the Colts here. So let's see who Travis has real quick before we go. And look ahead to next week. He is taking the Colts. Now, Dave, we really don't care about either team here, technically. This is more of a, do we want to watch Raw to see what happened at Survivor Series, or do we want to watch this? Who do you have? Are you taking the Colts or the Steelers?
What are they playing, the Steelers?
They are playing in Indy.
You know what? I see the Colts pulling by a field goal against the Steelers.
Now, personally, Colts, yeah, I don't blame you there. Now, I asked my mom about this game, and I should point out my mom's Baltimore girl grew up there.
I'm not confident on this pick, Bob. The
Steelers like horrible. Who is she picking in this? Because I just wanted to hear her response, and her response was, quote, I refuse to watch this game or make a pick on this game. I would rather watch 12 hours of Baron Corbin.
Oh, damn.
So that gives you her opinion there. Here's my thing. I know I did make fun of Jeff Saturday. He is 1-1. Steelers been up and down this year. You know, I know they've been dealing with injuries, you know, transferring, putting the rookie quarterback in, you know, and all that. Matt Ryan looks good again now, apparently, but granted, he's kind of disappointed most of the year. I know if Mr. Jones was here, he'd be talking about the Colts. I I'm honest to you. I picked the Colts here, and it's only because of the fact of I think both teams are equally bad in their own ways, and I literally flipped a coin. I did not go into stats. I couldn't because both of them kind of bad to me in both ways. I flipped a coin, and I don't like flipping coins because that means I'm leaving it to Lady Luck. I'm not fucking Toothface, okay? But in this case, I had to do what Toothface did, and the coin landed on the Colts side, so I picked them. Do I feel confident with it? Hell fucking no. The only way I literally feel like this is one of those games where it's like if you pick either team, you're not going in confident. I'm going to say this personally: do not play anybody from this team on fantasy because I think it'll be a bad decision. 12 hours of Page, maybe. Corey, that would be great. I'd watch 12 hours of Page.
Hell yeah, I watched Page.
I just went out and watched the 12 hours of Sunny sex tape. No, thank you. Nobody needs that. Now let's look ahead real quick before we go, because we always like to look ahead to the next week, because that's what we do.
Debbie does Dallas.
Yeah, that'd be more fun. So here's the next week's schedule for Week 13. Thursday night game, Week 13 is Bills and Patriots. My mom's then the Sunday games. My mom's Ravens are at home against Broncos country.
No.
Travis's Packers go on the road to play against Chicago. Let's see. The Niners are at home against the Dolphins, so that should be an interesting matchup. And
that's gonna be flex the Sunday football game. That's
the Sunday night game. I will say this: I think is going to be flex unless the Colts win this week, and that's again if. But I could see them flexing it out. But as of right now, the Sunday night game is the Colts and Cowboys. I would not be surprised if that gets flex, and if it does, I think they're going to put the Dolphins-Niners game there personally. And then your Monday night game is the Saints and Buccaneers. Another bad Monday night game 2 weeks in a row.
Let's go to Week 14.
Well, we'll go to Week 14 in a minute, but don't forget Rosie and Dark Knight's Giants are at home against the Washington Redskins. As far as for the Raiders, they are at home against the Chargers, so I know Corey's going to be keeping an eye on that game. That might be a game the Raiders might be able to win. And then we just to look ahead to Week 14, Thursday night is Raiders-Rams. Cowboys are at home against the Texans. Giants are at home against the Eagles. My mom's Ravens are on the road against the Steelers. The 49ers are at home against the Buccaneers. Your primetime game Sunday, which will probably be moved as well. Chiefs at Broncos, because Broncos really don't have anything to look forward to be honest. And then Monday night we get the Cardinals again at home against the Patriots. So really not a lot of good Monday night games coming up. Clapping the Chargers, Rams, Chiefs, 49ers, Seahawks, Cheeks.
When I got a fucking Thursday night football game, we didn't get one yet.
I'm going to take a guess, and Corey, you thinking the Raiders will run the table and somehow sneak into the playoffs. We shall see if that happens. Because I think they would have to run the table, and of course, yeah. But that is it for this week's picks, guys. I would like to thank Dave for joining me tonight. Travis, thank you for sending me your picks. Happy Thanksgiving to both of you. Also, happy Thanksgiving to Rosie and my buddy Corey for being here with us tonight. Don't forget, we will be back here next Wednesday at 8 o'clock to go over more the basketball scores for that night, the NBA, the hockey, which, by the way, the New Jersey Devils do have that winning streak of 13 games right now. I think that's the franchise best. We also be next week going over the conference championship games. Who do we have winning each one? And next Wednesday as well, we will be giving our final playoff rankings before the conference championship games. Because after that,
I might lose my voice. So I might lose.
Yeah, particularly if Michigan loses that one. But also we'll be going over the games next week, looking at the draft standings and the playoff standings as well. Going over the NFL games next week as well, and the games we had for college this week. So everyone, please have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Enjoy the NFL games tomorrow night. Enjoy the SEC game if you're going to watch on to the Pirates Vikings tomorrow night. And if you're going out on Black Friday, please shop safely. Until then, everyone have a good night. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the turkey. Enjoy the ham. Enjoy whatever food you're going to eat. And be safe. Until then, peace out and see you next time, folks.
And I bid you guys a farewell and a good night.
Yep. Unless, of course, you're the Broncos, because, well, you're just riding into nothingness. Da 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 da.
Ha ha ha. My headphones broke finally. I'm holding it with the string.
Duct tape.